So our next candidate on the block is who I call the Golden Hour Sunshine. And ladies and gentlemen, I speak of none other than Teriaq. Teriaq, I learned, means antidote. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're bored with your fragrance collection, then she may just be the cure for it. I have to admit that the first time I sprayed her, it was not a love. I was actually a little annoyed by it, to be honest. I didn't know what to make of it. So, much like most Middle Eastern fragrances, I sprayed it a bunch of times, capped it, and let it sit for a while. It was, I think, at least another month before I touched it. And as you can see, oh, when I opened it again, I was surprised at what I was getting. I mean, this beauty opens with vanilla. It has tonka bean. It has praline. And if you've seen my previous reviews of another fragrance, I forget which one it is. Those three combinations, and you've got my attention. She is really, really beautiful. The vanilla in here is not your basic vanilla. It is Madagascar vanilla, which is expensive if you know anything about vanillas. It's a gourmand without being overly sweet, if that makes sense. There are floral hints here, but I have no idea what the flowers are, and I'm not even going to try to identify. There's musk, and there's definitely sandalwood. It just feels like cashmere on the skin, and she totally has golden hour energy. As I called her, she's my golden hour goddess. And now, our science fact time. As I mentioned, it contains vanilla, and vanilla contains that compound called vanillin. Big surprise there. Vanillin to our brain communicates the feelings of comfort, right? Of feelings of pleasure. And that is why vanilla is so attractive to many, many people. So, for all my vanilla lovers out there, it's not you, it's literally in our DNA. So, you're loving it is as natural as breathing, right? I tell you, I really love to smell this one. This fragrance is literally biologically designed to make people want to stay close to you. And that is that note vanillin for the most part. So, what is the story behind her? To my mind, she's radiant. She enters a room and she commands attention not because she's loud, but because she is just refreshing and she is charming and she is generous and her spirit is just inviting all around. Like I said, she is golden hour personified. There's no not loving her, really. So now let's talk performance about this one. She is 8 hours on your skin easily. My skin, particularly, I feel like my skin carries fragrance rather well, so it sticks to me. And I know it's different for everybody, but I feel like this one, the performance is there. I get 8 hours with her easily without having to respray. And maybe I do a little bit of enough overspray in the morning and I'm good all day long or all night long, whichever time I'm wearing it. And so, hey, try her, okay? She's for the woman who chooses joy, who chooses to be welcoming, but not for nonsense. So, if you're looking for something that's just beautiful and absolutely magical, then Teriaq may just be your girl. Now, if Teriaq was golden hour, then we are now talking liquid gold. Ladies and gentlemen, we are stepping into intense territory. On the back of Teriaq came this sister, big sister, younger sister, whatever. This is Teriaq Intense. Now I like to stop actually and tip my hat to the nose behind both Teriaq and Teriaq Intense, and that is Quentin Biche. He is like my favorite perfumer now. I mean, the guy just keeps putting out masterpiece after masterpiece, and this is no different. So, Monsieur Biche, merci. Anyway, moving on. This one is just rich. It's beautiful. It is caramel. It is deep vanilla. It has tonka bean. It's boozy, absolutely. And it has amber. I mean, I absolutely love this. I find this so sexy. It is both on men and women alike. This fragrance, I'm telling you, if you like fragrance with character, with richness, a gourmand without being that sickly sweet and actually taste smelling like food, oh, this hits all the notes. I mean, look at it. The bottle is beautiful, and I know it has the snake motif that bothers some people. I'm not bothered by it. Um, I'm no lover of snakes, but bottles with snake motifs don't really bother me one way or the other. This is rich. It's indulgent, but very sophisticated. You can wear it anytime, but I personally like to reserve this for nighttime. Now, let's talk compounds. This, as I mentioned, contains caramel, and caramel contains aldehydes. The aldehydic compounds are the same compounds, the chemicals that trigger your pleasure center, similar to what you get when you eat sugar. Yeah, think on that for a minute. This is literally triggering our addictive senses. Yeah, you are literally wearing something that just smells so addictive. I feel like this is literally hedonism at its finest. Okay, so what's her story? It is the woman who believes and appreciates indulgence and opulence. She is living her best life. Caviar dreams and champagne toasts. She's living it all and living it to the max. Is that too much? Well, only if you believe in such a thing. I don't, because you know what? With this one, too much is just the right amount of enough. Now, let's talk about performance. Longevity, an easy 12 hours. This is a powerhouse, okay? They will smell you, young lady, and they will struggle to keep their composure because you literally smell devourable, okay? Delicious in a bottle. So for this Valentine's Day, wear this and be indulgently unforgettable. So, ladies and gentlemen, our next candidate on the block, oh, I am going to love telling you about this. This character right here, mm, she's ethereal, she's dreamy, light, but it also has character, right? I am talking about something as pure as it is provocative, right? And as innocent as it is intoxicating. So we have a play on opposites here, and I think this one finds just the right sweet spot in between the two. I am talking Musamam White Intense from the house of Latafa. And won't you know, yet another snake motif. Anyway, but stop. Whether you appreciate the motif or not, let's just stop and give this bottle its due. The elegance in it, it is so well designed. It is beautiful. It feels heavy. There's nothing cheap about, this packaging. It is just lovely. Okay. And I don't know. I would not worry too much. Like I said, I mentioned before, the snake motif doesn't bother me. I think it adds a little bit of a danger to it, but and attractiveness to it. But I move on. Let's talk about Musamam White Intense. Now, when it comes to Musamam White Intense, don't let the word white fool you, or my description as a lightness in it fool you, because this There is nothing innocent here. It's not about innocence, it's about the illusion of innocence. And that, my loves, is far more dangerous. So, let's see what is giving. Mm, when you spray, oh, excuse me, as I break things over here. When you spray Musamam White Intense, immediately you get that jasmine and you get the orange blossom. So those are the florals on that in the top. And I know jasmine because it's one of my favorite flowers. It is just so heady. And I think the combination with that orange blossom just gives it an addictiveness right from the opening. And then you get the creamy sandalwood comes in as it dries down. And you get some soft musks in here too. Some vanilla, of course. And then you have amber and woods in the base. And I think that just serves to anchor the scent, right? So while it is very refreshing on the top, as it dries down, I think its character just really emerges, and the grounding between the amber and the woods really gives us its seductive quality. Awesome. This is so pretty. It is pretty, and it gives you the illusion of just, it conjures to mind like white silk flowers, but with a hidden sense of danger underneath, if that makes sense. So let's talk about a little bit of a science fun fact, right? So the white florals like jasmine contain a compound called indole, and indole to our brains really register both as clean and dirty, right? Fresh and animalic. So there's a bit of a cognitive dissonance going on when you smell this. You get both. And so while you love it, it has an innocence, as I mentioned before, it also conjures up a sultry seductiveness. Yeah? That's what makes this scent so magical. So, what's her story? Just picture a lady floating in white silks, right? She seems angelic, innocent beyond compare, and she seems almost ethereal and untouchable. But look a little bit closer underneath, and in her knowing smile, you can tell she knows exactly what she's exuding. And that is what makes her so dangerous, right? It is the virgin vixen paradox. So she's sugar and spice, heaven and sin, and she is the scent that haunts your dreams and makes you go looking for her. For Valentine's Day, I can see wearing her from, more daytime, late afternoon into evenings. Of course, you can wear her at nighttime too. She perfectly serves the purpose. But her is just, she exudes this magic that seems so effortless, as I mentioned. So she's the kind of scent that makes you think the innocence and passion can be held at the same time and in the same vessel. They are not opposites, they are dangerous companions that work very well together. Now, let's talk about performance. I've worn her in the daytime all day, and it works perfectly well because there's a cleanness about it that does not suffocate you. And I've worn her at nighttime too, where you go for more of the provocative, um, like sensuality, if you will. And it works both. It is a good 8 hours easily. It carries really well. For those who say, hey, scents don't last on my body, listen, carry her or get a travel size and then respray her. She is worth the carry. But on my skin, it lasts for a long time. And I find that I do not need to respray. I like to spray her a little bit on my clothing as well, which just gives you continuous wafts of her. In terms of performance, it's not a screamer, right? It wears more intimately to your body, which is excellent because it creates that intimacy, an intimate bubble around you, and that makes you just so seductive. So for this Valentine's Day, if that's the vibe you're going for, just know and remember that seduction, sometimes the best seduction, is one that seems effortless, and accidental almost. Enjoy Musamam White Intense. And if you've worn her or plan on wearing her, let me know what you think in the comments. Now, our next candidate is what I call Timeless Temptation. This fragrance creates a moment in time. It stops time almost, creates memories, and it kind of freezes you in a moment, right? Here I talk about Momento by Riffs. And I have a story about Riffs actually and how I discovered the whole Middle Eastern fragrances, but that's another time I will share with you in another video, I promise. So let's talk about Momento. This fragrance is very attention grabbing. To my mind, it is a moment captured in liquid form. And my goodness, what a moment it is. It opens with citruses, yep, and saffron. And if you know about the note of saffron in fragrances, it makes itself known, right? It can be very strong, it can be, but the way it's done in here is very refined and it's quite lovely. As I mentioned, when you spray it, you get that citrus, you get that saffron, and it gives it kind of a bright luxury, right? And I mentioned it's very attention grabbing because this scent is not for the weak, I'll tell you that. You get some jasmine on the dry down, rose, and some violet. That's one of the florals I can definitely easily identify. Violet is one, jasmine is one of my favorites. It's easy to identify for me, but violet happens to be one of the ones that I can identify as well. So as you know, jasmine and violet, you find them in quite a number of fragrances. They feel like a classic sophistication when they're put together. In the base, you get amber, you get patchouli, you get musk. And I think together they create this rich resinous base that grounds this perfume so well. It just and it sticks with you. This is one of those perfumes that just sticks with you in the most beautiful way. It is not one that fades quickly. I'll tell you that. So now let's talk about a little bit of the science here. Our olfactory bulb is directly connected to our amygdala and our hippocampus. Those are the centers of our brain responsible for memory and for emotion, right? Our olfactory sense is the only sense that has this direct connection and neural pathway. That is why we experience scent the way we do. It has emotion, it captures a memory, it can place you in a point in time, it can conjure up something you have forgotten just on sniff, and it conjures up that memory. That, again, is our science talking. It's literally our sense of smell is literally connected to our brain centers that process memory and it processes emotions. So, Memento, in its name alone, actually lives up to its name very well because it literally transports you to a moment in time. I know it is supposed to be inspired by Montal's Arabian Tonka. And I mentioned earlier, I love anything with Tonka beans. I'm a fan of. But this I think stands on its own. It is quite a vibe, this scent. So, what is the story this beauty is giving me? To my mind, she is that moment in time, that conversation at a party that you remember for a long time to come. She is the glance across the room that changed everything, the kiss that you will measure other kisses by for years to come. She's not just unforgettable, she is the memory that defines unforgettable. This fragrance gives me very old Hollywood, if you will, like classic. It's timeless elegance, but with enough edge to keep things interesting, if you know what I mean. With regard to performance, I will say her projection is moderate, right? It's not going to knock you over, although she is noticeable. Longevity, a cool 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours, easy. You want it to last even longer? Spray it on your clothes because it's not coming out until you wash it. I guarantee you that. So for this Valentine's Day, choose Memento, be the moment, be the memory that stays. So our next candidate is my favorite. It is my Valentine's Day scent, if you will. It's what I've chosen to wear this Valentine's Day, and it is what I call companionship in a bottle. So, this fragrance, I think, really expresses the true sentiment that romance always isn't fire, it isn't loud, but it is the quiet, appreciated, vibe of just companionship, just being quietly yourself, just being with the one that you can be in the house with and not say a word but really understand each other just perfectly well. It is the feeling of coming home, of companionship. It is the I feel like Rifaaqat is truly exudes the feeling of being seen. You do not have to perform and you don't have to try. You just have to be yourself because the person you're with sees you just for who you are and loves you all just the same. I learned that Rifaaqat in Urdu means companionship. And as I mentioned, that's exactly the feeling that this scent exudes for me. It is a feeling of comfort, of coming home, of just belonging. Rifaaqat, I will tell you, and I'm sure if you know about this scent, it is supposed to be inspired by a rather pricey designer fragrance that's Baby Cat. And I will tell you this, I have actually a sample, a travel size sample of Baby Cat. I have smelled them. I wore one on each arm and I could not tell the difference, especially on dry down. They are identical to me. I could not tell the difference. So, yes, if they tell you that Rifaaqat exudes Baby Cat, it is absolutely correct. So, for fragrance, I mean, for a fraction of the price, hey, like I say, you do not have to break the bank to smell like your absolute best self. So, drop me a heart emoji if you believe in love that feels like home. Now let's wrap up our Valentine's Day set with what I call soft power. Ladies and gentlemen, this fragrance does not just smell expensive, it feels expensive. And you know there's a difference. I am talking Nyla Suede. Now, this fragrance, oh God, if you feel my bottle is dark, so I can't show you, but if you feel my bottle, you will know there's quite a dent in it. This fragrance opens up with saffron and violet. Am I giving you kind of, are you starting to detect a trend in the notes that I tend to respond to? Immediately, it opens with that saffron and violet, and you get this luxurious, like powdery feel right at the top. And it's not the kind of powdery feel that annoys you. I have smelled some powdery scents that just somehow the it's too powdery that it irritates you. That's not what I'm talking about here at all. As it dries down, you have the note of iris, excuse me, and my favorite, the leather accords that you get. You also get rose in here. And as you go through this olfactory journey, or like just as it evolves, the scent evolves, you get amber, you get woods, you get a musk definitely. And yeah, that suede just sticks around. It conjures up the memory of brushing your hands across the softest, most luxurious suede in liquid form. And surprisingly, I never thought I would really like the scent of suede or leather for that matter, also, in a sense. I always used to kind of pull back a little when I heard about leather notes or suede notes, but I'm telling you, ugh, scents with those notes blended that this well. just got me, I have to say. It is soft, but it is so elegant. Now, let's talk a little bit of science for a second. The smell of suede in fragrances are man-made, right? It's not something that you will find like the floral notes that you will find in nature. It's not organic like that. They contain compounds called isobutyl quinolone and styrolyl acetate. Those are the compounds that conjure up or create the smell of soft leather and also suede. Right, so this is it's kind of a little bit of man-made magic. And if you're a scientist like me, hey, we're here for it. So the mimicking of soft leather or suede, as specifically in this particular fragrance, is just what's giving you that strange, slightly animalic, but powdery and also impossibly smooth note, right? It is literally, and our brains tend to associate quality leather and quality suede with just expensiveness. So this scent actually is kind of causing your brains, your expensive neurons to fire on all pistons, if you will. It is it is worth your attention and your try. So, what is her story to my mind? She is cashmere dressed in power, or power dressed in cashmere. Take your pick. There's nothing aggressive about her strength because her presence is quiet and self-assured. She does not need to raise her voice. Understand? Because her presence just simply speaks volumes. So think boardroom elegance meet bedroom eyes, right? She is professional but never cold. She is soft, never weak. And that is where her power lies. So to me, this fragrance is the woman who negotiates multi-million dollar deals in the daytime and slow dances with her man at night in her stilettos, and she's equally comfortable in each position. She is as comfortable with CEOs as she is comfortable with her childhood friends. And she commands her respect without having to demand it. So Nyla Suede really, she is luxury without logos, sophistication without effort, and elegance that is innate rather than learned, if you know what I mean. So let's talk about her performance. In terms of longevity, she is 8 hours, a solid 8 hours, if not more, of pure elegance. You are going to wear her and you are going to smell her. For her projection, I will call it moderate. Is not going to shout. She doesn't need to because elegance never needs to raise its voice. We all know that. Nyla Suede is definitely for the woman who has mastered the art of soft power. So for this Valentine's Day, if you choose to wear her, wear your power softly because the most dangerous woman in the room is the one who feels like silk and cashmere but carries her steel within. Okay, folks, so there you have it. We have come to the end of the Valentine's Day collection recommendation from the Fragrance Anthology. From the seductive nature of Liquid Brun to the soft power of Nyla Suede, from the golden warmth of Teriaq to the magic that is Shagaf Oud Tonka. All these fragrances tell a story. They capture a memory. They capture a moment. They capture a personality that we all want to embody at one time or the other. But here's the truth I want you to remember that this Valentine's Day, the most important person to seduce is yourself. So wear the fragrances that make you feel powerful. Choose the scent that makes you feel your most beautiful. Because when you smell good, you feel good. When you feel good, you feel confident. You walk tall and you carry yourself as the magic that you truly are. And the world has no choice but to take notice and step accordingly. So carry yourself like the masterpiece that you are, because that's where the real magic happens. You become magnetic not because you're trying, but because you simply are. So this Valentine's Day, whether you're spending time with your partner, friends, having a galentine's, or spending your time in glorious solitude, make it special, make it intentional, make it yours. So from my collection to yours, from my heart to yours, happy Valentine's Day, beautiful souls. Go forth and leave unforgettable memories wherever you go. I am Susan, and this has been a Fragrance Anthology presentation. Please don't forget to subscribe, to comment, and to stick around for this journey that we have set on. I foresee a lot of good things along the way. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, bye.